Okay, so today we will start with our SQL. Okay,
Okay.
RDBMS SQL. So what SQL exactly is, and querying. We will
Yes,
do
structured
querying.
query language, no?
Yeah, structured query language is the full form.
Hmm.
And what is querying a database? That
It's a like condition or a criteria to retrieve the data.
yeah, sure. So let's start querying database. We already understand how to construct a database and what is a database, right? We have already
Yes,
understand
I
that.
know that one. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so what is a database? How to construct a database means how should you how will you plan your database? Okay,
Yes.
for the development of the application. Okay,
Application.
so and that
Yes.
we do by means of what
ERD.
ER diagram, right? Here I am also will punch something called relational algebra.
Relational algebra.
Okay, okay. I am telling
Hmm.
what all these things are, but
Hmm.
first of all, take an introduction that we have already learned how to design a database, right? So that is
Yes, we have.
basically a design. Now,
Hmm.
if we look into our previous class, just let
Hmm.
me show you the image, the final output, the final
Oh.
ER diagram. So this was our final ER diagram na, about the
Yes, for
company,
the EFB table. EFB table.
company database.
Hmm.
Okay, and this was the
Yes.
schema. Okay,
Yes.
so what was the problem? The problem definition
Uh,
was this one. This one was the problem definition
multiple.
to
Yes, the
construct
problem
a
definition is
database
ERD
for a company.
database.
Okay, consider a company wants to maintain a records of its employee, etc., etc. So on the basis of this problem, on the demand of the company, we created or we
Hmm.
designed this database.
Yes.
We designed this database. Okay, so it is the designing part. Now what we have to do? We have to implement that design into a particular software. Okay,
Yes.
suppose
Hmm.
the company is going to um, uh, build its software. Okay, its
Hmm.
application for maintaining
Hmm.
employees, projects, and etc. Say maybe a
Hmm.
ERP system, a small scale ERP system. The
Hmm.
company is decided to build. So for that
Yes.
purpose, it needs a database. Okay,
Correct.
so we designed the database to them. Now what we have to do? We have to implement that database to some software, database related software. So what are
Yes.
the database related software we have already discussed? There are Oracle, there are MySQL, there are Microsoft SQL Server, there are DB2, there are Sybase, there are lots of database server. Okay,
Hmm.
so what database software the application developer will choose or the company will choose, that depends on some criteria, especially
Okay.
on the budget of the company. Okay, and the
Hmm.
security features, etc., etc. Okay, the scale.
Okay.
So depending on that criteria, we will select a particular database software. Okay,
Okay.
suppose for this project or this problem, we are selecting the Oracle database
Hmm.
software. Now, why we are selecting Oracle software? Because in our syllabus there will be Oracle software. Okay, so Oracle, in fact, is the best database management software that we all
Hmm.
know.
Yes.
So we will implement this database, whatever we
Hmm.
designed so far, this
Hmm.
complete schema. See,
Hmm.
this is the schema. Okay, so
Hmm.
we will implement this database into
Hmm.
our Oracle database software because
Hmm.
we in project decided that we will use Oracle database software. Okay, so
Okay.
when we implement those this database into the Oracle software, after that the application developer, means you understand what is the application developer, those
Yes, that is the
front end
front
developer
end,
who
like
is
front end
working in
developer.
right, in either Java or
PHP
.NET or
or
PHP.
Java,
Okay,
.NET.
so they
Yes.
will communicate with the database server. Means this Oracle database.
Yes.
They will communicate. They will
Mm.
make a mechanism how to
Yes.
communicate with the
They write
database
the
server.
program.
Okay,
Yes. They will
so
write a
then
command to
this
store it.
database server will come
Mm.
into action for the
Mm.
application directly. Okay, so
Mm.
now we are acting as a database developer or database person.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm.
so our job ends when we created these database
Okay.
into a particular database software. After that,
Okay.
we will wait when the developer needs some
Mm.
changes or modification of the structure, or there are hazards,
Very.
there may be some hazards. So we will wait. But
Mm-hmm.
primarily, our job means the database personnel. As a database person,
Mm.
our job will end after creating the whole schema. Okay,
Mm.
and applying all the constraints. Constraints means lots of rules and regulation that we can establish for this
Mm.
database
Database.
into the particular software. So
Yes.
today we will start
Mm.
first implementing this database, okay,
Mm.
into this structure, this schema
Mm.
into the
Mm.
Oracle software. After that we will add some data, okay,
Mm.
hypothetical or maybe say some data, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and that data, depending on that data, we will do some operations. Okay,
Mm.
now what are the operations that you can find in a database? So those
Operations finding
operations
database.
can
Update.
be
Create.
called as a querying database.
Okay. Querying database.
Query.
So
Okay,
first it has to be created na, before we
obviously,
doing the query.
obviously. Okay, even
Okay.
while you are creating something, that can also be treated as a query. Okay,
Okay.
so
Mm.
our target will be to query the
Mm.
database that give me these records, okay, or do the
Mm.
jobs for me. So
Mm.
database operations maybe
Mm.
of say operations. Okay,
Mm.
database operations mainly of you can say
Mm.
four kinds.
Mm.
Number one, you can say you have to create the thing.
Mm.
Okay, means the tables, the database,
Table creation.
the constraints, etc.,
Mm.
etc. So
Mm.
after creating, what you will do,
Mm.
mm, you can insert some data.
Yes.
Okay, means you are
Mm.
giving input to the database.
Yes.
So with the
Entering the
existing
data is done.
database, with the
Update.
existing
Mm.
data, you can always update it.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
update means modify it,
Yes.
and obviously
Delete.
you can delete it also. Now
Mm.
updating or deleting, you can combine it both, a single operation, something like that,
Mm.
because
Okay. It is
deleting
one
is
and
one kind of
the
updating.
modification or
Yeah,
this
and the
okay.
final means you
Uh,
can have. So these are the basic operations. Okay, insert,
uh,
update, delete. These are the main operations. Okay, with that
mm,
you have to obviously create, and
mm.
this is the main operation with the database.
Okay.
And last, what we have to select
Mm,
whatever we need the data. So this is separate from every other operations. These are actually uh, doing with the
uh,
structure, doing with the data.
mm,
But here in select, we are actually, you can say,
mm.
we are actually fetching the data out of the database, right?
Data retrieval.
Okay. You maybe heard something called CURD,
Third operation. Yes. Yes.
card, or
Create, update.
somebody says CRUD. Okay,
Uh,
means
CRUD operation or CRUD
means
operations.
the
I have heard.
application developer
Mm,
will do these kinds of operations: create, update,
mm,
read, delete. Okay,
mm,
with the database. Okay,
mm.
So these are all the database operations that we will obviously do. Query, you can say everything is query. Okay.
Okay.
Acha. Now, obviously, while you are dealing with the software, okay,
Mm.
now querying software, na?
Mm.
So you need some language, you need some commands, right? When you
Mm.
are querying a database, you need
Mm.
some commands,
Some commands.
okay,
Yes.
because database is software. So to
Mm.
make the software understand, you need to give it a command. So that
Mm.
command is given by SQL.
Okay.
Okay. So the full form everybody knows, structured
Mm.
query language. Basically, it is a fourth
Mm.
generation language.
Mm.
You can say it is a fourth generation language. Now, what is fourth generation language? It does not include any procedural concepts. Means all
Okay.
those ifs, if else, and the loops. Okay. So
Mm.
you will not find anything here. There will be a single
Okay.
line of command instruction. It will be ended with a semicolon, and that's all. Maybe
Okay.
this
I
line
can take SQL as a software used to query a database, language used to query a
SQL not
database.
as a software, SQL as a language to query a database. Okay.
Okay.
SQL is a language, just like suppose you want to develop a software, then you
Got it. Programming
need a
language. Got it.
programming language,
Mm.
either Java, .NET,
Mm.
something like that.
Mm.
So to query a
Mm.
database, you
Mm.
need a language, and that is called SQL, structured
Mm.
query language. Okay.
Mm.
Now this query language varies
Mm.
from software to software. Okay,
So I
software to
can
software.
consider these softwares could be Oracle or
This software could be
whatever we
Oracle.
discussed. Okay.
This software could be Oracle. This software could be DB, or say
Mm.
MS SQL,
Mm.
MS SQL. Okay. Acha, SQL somebody may call it as CQL. Okay.
Sequence.
So
Okay.
some person pronounce it as CQL. So
Okay,
both
pronunciation.
pronunciation, they are, both are same.
Then
SQL.
PLSQL also I think a kind of software only, right?
PLSQL is a language,
Is
is
a language, huh? Okay.
is a completely, you can say, completely different language in conceptually it is a completely different language, because PLSQL
Mhm.
is the extension of SQL, in the sense that SQL is a fourth generation language which excludes all
Mm.
the procedural concepts in
Mm.
it. PLSQL is procedural language along with the SQL. Okay,
Okay.
so PLSQL is completely different. Okay, if it is in syllabus, then we will also learn PLSQL.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry. But
Mm-hmm.
today we will start SQL
SQL. Mm.
to learn how to query a database, how to
Okay.
make these
Okay.
operations happen to our database. Okay, so this
Okay.
is the primary job.
Okay. That
Okay, as
PLSQL
a
I
database
wanted to have
person,
a clarification. That's the
yeah,
reason
yeah,
I
sure.
take it
As
up.
a database person, you must have the concept and a very good hand on querying a database, means the SQL. Okay.
Okay.
PLSQL is just providing a support, extra support
Mm.
for the database application.
Mm.
Okay. Giving them a, procedural approach, means all those loops and ifs, checking it, etc.
Okay.
Okay. So with the PLSQL, front-end developer
Mm.
may say, suppose they are going to search or querying a database for an analysis purpose. Okay, lots of checking and
Mm-hmm.
lots of ifs and buts are there,
Mm-hmm.
loops is needed. So everything you have to do in front end. But if you use PLSQL, PLSQL will all is capable of doing all those things. Okay,
Okay.
uh, in the database end, at the database end. Okay, and produce a result to the front end. Okay, so PLSQL is procedural concepts along with the SQL, but SQL is querying a database, this operation. Okay, so
Mm.
in PLSQL, to have these operations, we will use SQL, right? In
Yes.
PLSQL, to make this thing happen, we will use SQL. So SQL is the primary thing. Okay, you can say PLSQL is an extension of SQL.
Okay. SQL.
PLSQL is an extension. And one more thing I can tell you,
Mm.
that see, SQL is a bit different from software to software, right?
Yes.
Not very much. Okay,
Yes.
not very much. The core part is same. Okay, if you
Mm.
learn SQL for in Oracle software, then you obviously can write queries for MS SQL and every other database software. Little bit of
Okay.
difference. Okay,
Yes.
so
Okay.
basic thing are same. Now this SQL, just a minute. Okay, so this SQL is a language, means language means a fourth generation language which has no procedural concept. PLSQL has procedural extension. What I am trying to say, that this SQL, it is different from software to software. Oracle has this PLSQL. Okay, you cannot
Okay.
run PLSQL on every other database. It is
Mm-hmm.
designed and developed by Oracle, and PLSQL is for Oracle software. Now, suppose you learn PLSQL very much, and after that, you are joining a company where Oracle database, they are not using Oracle database, and there is no means it is all loss in vain. You do
Mm-hmm.
not require PLSQL over there, because PLSQL can only be run on Oracle. Okay,
Okay.
along with there are some other database, say it is a Oracle DB2,
Okay.
DB2, Oracle. It's a property of Oracle. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
till now they have been provided only three databases, I think: Oracle, DB2, and other. What is the database name? I'm just can't remember the name. Other one. So PLSQL can run only these three softwares.
Data software.
Okay. So if you ask me, then if I want to have the same features in MS SQL, they have something called TSQL.
Mm-hmm.
TSQL. Conceptually they are same but different.
Name
So
wise, soft
PLSQL will
whether
not run
they
in
based
MS
on the
SQL.
company.
Okay.
Mm.
So PLSQL is
Just
a
like a
completely
different
different thing,
brand.
and it is
Okay.
developed and maintained by Oracle.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is all about the introduction. Now let me give you an introduction of relational algebra.
Okay.
Now, what is relational algebra? Sometimes we call it as RA, relational
Mm-hmm.
algebra. It's a very interesting thing. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
in my training classes, this
Okay.
corporate training classes, I used to go with relational algebra first. Okay, because see, what is relational algebra? Relational algebra, don't think that it is something related to mathematics. Obviously, it is. It has a connection with mathematics. In fact, the set
Mm-hmm.
theory. And
Mm-hmm.
for your information, database is all about set theory. It's totally
Okay.
connected and organized as set. Okay, what is
Okay.
a table? Table is a set of
Set of
entities.
row. Yes. Set of row.
So in database, you will everywhere you will get the essence of mathematics,
Set.
set theory. So relational algebra is not that kind of algebra. It is basically an algorithmic view of SQL. You can say like that.
Okay.
Just try to think. When you have learned the programming language,
Mm-hmm.
obviously here our concept is different. We learn programming language before learning algorithm. That is a funny thing in our syllabus, or
Correct. Correct. Correct.
in every other university syllabus. It's a funny thing. Before learning the process of developing program, we learn how to
Program. We
program.
learn the programming language.
So maybe so what is the difference between algorithm and a program? Is the same difference between SQL and relational algebra and SQL. SQL is a language. Relational algebra is its algorithmic view. Like
Mm-hmm.
that, C is a programming language. Algorithm is the step view or the logical view of the program. Okay, Java is a
Correct.
programming language, algorithm is the logical view of that program. Same thing,
Mm.
SQL is the programming language, relational algebra is the algorithmic view,
Mm.
means paperwork. Okay,
Okay.
suppose a small query, you do not need to,
Mm.
when you learn how to query a database, okay,
Mm.
so for a small queries, you do not have to bother much, okay,
Mm.
but for a complex, very complex query, okay,
Mm.
mm, I can show you a query written by me,
Mm.
you can say 2 3 pages at a stretch,
Oh.
it is given, okay,
Oh.
so it's a very complex query
Complex
doing
query.
lots of
Correct.
operation. So you cannot
In
write the
single
complete
statement.
query just by going to the database and tuck 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 you wrote all those queries. It's not like that. Okay, for the query you need also an algorithmic approach. Okay,
Correct.
and lots of means the analysis
Analysis has
for
to be
writing a
done.
particular query or a single
Query
query.
also.
A single
Yes.
query,
Correct.
maybe the whole business logic has been implemented in the single query. So
Okay.
writing a query also have some analytical part in it. Okay, yeah,
Oh.
we have some, maybe in our syllabus we have something called query processing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how the query is processed, what will be the complexities of the query, means the time complexity and the efficiency, that we all have to check
Mm.
in that particular part. Okay, so to
Mm-hmm.
process a query, not the process, to design a query, we also have some
Mm.
algorithm, and that
Correct.
algorithm can be treated as a relational algebra, and it's a very
Relational
very
algebra.
very interesting part to me. Once you have a very good knowledge of relational algebra, which is easier than writing a C, when you are doing a SQL, you have to remember the whole syntax, na? Because
Yes.
syntax
Correct.
mismatch, because
It
the
would
SQL will be understood by the computer or the
syntax.
software, so you must have to remember the exact syntax. But
Syntax.
relational algebra is something have mathematical or symbolic representation. So you do not have to run the relational algebra query on the machine. You have to write it in the
Yes.
paper,
It is spread right. It is
just like
spread.
algorithm you wrote,
Other algorithm. Mm.
just type of writing. I will try to give you the lessons side by side parallelly. Otherwise,
Okay.
in my training, I would prefer, or in a more elaborate training,
Eh,
you will get relational algebra fast. Okay, then
yes.
go for the SQL. Okay, once you
Okay.
have a good idea on relational algebra, things will be easier to you in SQL. Understand? Okay,
Okay.
so that was all about SQL and relational
Relational algebra.
algebra. Now the next
Yes.
thing is where we will use all those things. I have already shared you a video to download and run the SQL, means the Oracle part, right? So this is
Mm.
the thing. I am just logging it out. I am showing it you again. So when you install the thing, you will have something called Oracle. I am taking it from here. So this thing,
Application Express.
yeah, I suggest you to go with Oracle 11G Express Edition. Okay.
Mm.
Currently, you will find 18C. Okay,
Mm.
but it is better to go with 11G or even
Mm.
10G also, but this is good.
Mm.
Okay, it has been
Yes.
used by many companies till now. Okay.
Mm.
So Oracle 11G Express Edition complete details have been given on that video, how to install it, how to test it. Shashiji, you have already did that thing.
Yes.
So this is the section we can log in into. You have to create a login ID credential. All is given in that particular video. So this is the section where you have to write the SQL queries. You do
Okay.
not have to bother all the details of this thing. So just click it
Mm.
and it
Once
will
of
be
that, you will get in the window.
window. Inside that you have something called SQL command. So this
Mm.
will be your target. Okay. So click it.
Yes.
So here is the section where you have to write the queries. See, we can write something here.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the
Yes.
area where we will write the
Query.
SQL commands or queries, something like that. Okay, so this is the section which we will use to write our queries. There are some other softwares also where you can write the SQL query, but
Mm.
see, the concept is, Shashi, you have also tried to install the SQL developer, na?
हाँ डेवलपर मैंने ट्राई किया बट क्या हुआ ना
Okay,
लाइक
see, I am
इट गिव
telling you,
लिटिल प्रॉब्लम इन दैट
this is your database. Okay, this is
यस
your database, and this is your Oracle database, right?
ओके यस
What is SQL Server and what is this? This is your, see, Oracle application.
एडिटर एप्लीकेशन एक्सप्रेस
So what are these?
सो
Like
एप्लीकेशन
this is
एक्सप्रेस
your
फिर
Oracle application express, and this is, you can say, SQL
हियर
developer.
एडिटर डेवलपर
Developer.
ओके
So these are two different softwares,
हम्म
apps. You can say apps or softwares. Okay, which are giving you the facility to write commands for the database, right?
ओके
Both the software need to connect the database to send and receive data out of it. Both the software.
करेक्ट तो
Okay.
ओरेकल
So you can use SQL developer, you can use Oracle, or you can use any other software which can connect to the database. Okay, and send the data to the database and receive the data from it also. Okay, so these are all apps. So do not mind if you are not installing this SQL developer in your machine. You just need any of them. Okay, so Oracle
ओके
database is a separate thing. Okay, you understand, Oracle
यस आई गॉट इट
database is a separate thing, and these are separate things. They need to connect to the database. Okay, so that's why we use something called the username password. Okay, so by using those credentials we are actually logging to the database. Okay, now one more thing I can tell you here, Oracle is not at all free. You know that it's a very large and costly database. Okay,
ओके यस यस
so but this Oracle, what I have written here, I have asked you to install 11G. And suppose you
यस
go to the Oracle site and see almost 50 lakh. Uh, maybe these are now going for metered and cloud based, so you will not directly find 11G. Anyway, you have to spend lakhs of rupees to install this thing, so that will be a funny thing. So obviously 11G can't you install from Oracle without paying them, but
विदाउट पेइंग
11G
देम
you have some express edition. Okay, and this is a small scale database. Every features you will have in it. Okay, in fact most of the features, not, I can't say that every feature you will get, most of the feature, most of the essential whatever needed, okay, to learn. Okay, so
ओके
Oracle basically providing a small scale version, you can say edition of 11G. It's every database, it has a small scale version for the community developers, means the learners. Okay, so if it is totally you have to buy the thing, then how the developer will learn, how the student will learn these databases. So they build a express edition for that, which is universally accepted and used by the developers for the and the learners to understand the Oracle. Anyway, so these are all about Oracle and databases introduction. So
एक्सक्यूज मी
I'm now going directly into the implementation part. Okay,
ओके
so first of all, SQL commands Let me change the font. I do not like that font at all. Say maybe Trebuchet. SQL commands. You can say SQL commands are of three kinds. Okay.
Mm.
What are the three kinds of SQL commands? One is your DDL. That stands for data definition
Language.
language. And inside this DDL command, you will find create, create, alter, and something called truncate. Okay, I do not mention it here. Create, alter, and drop. Okay,
Mm.
so these are the three commands. See, the set of command is very limited in SQL. Okay, you do not have to
Okay.
remember many things. Okay,
Many things.
so
Yes.
create, alter, drop means what? Create is used to
Create
create the
is
tables. Now, what is
yes.
table? Remember in entity relationship diagram, the entity or the relation that are called the tables. Okay, you remember the
Okay.
thing?
Yes. Yes. I do
Turntable.
remember.
Okay,
Turntable. Mm.
okay. Just give me 1 minute so that mm, we have to implement the schema, na?
Yes.
So I
Okay.
have already these things. No, not this file. Company scheme. So this is the schema. I have some few records.
Okay.
Okay, related
Mm.
records. Obviously, you cannot put
Mm.
garbage record. Otherwise,
Correct.
querying a garbage record
Uh,
will not be a good thing.
correct.
So these are called the tables. Say this is employee table. If you remember the
Depart.
ERD term,
Yes. Yes. I
this
remember this.
EMP, department, project,
Project
and
and
department location,
location.
etc. So this is your EMP table, this is department table, this is department location table. Okay,
What
so
implement
these are
works
called the
in
tables. I will describe the table later, but coming here. So create command is basically used to create those tables.
table.
Alter
Yes.
command is basically used to alter or modification of the structure of the table. Say data definition language tells you about all about the structure. Okay,
Hmm.
structure means those structure, not the data. Okay, so
Hmm.
this is all about create, alter, and drop. Okay, this is called the structure. You got the thing. This is the structure,
Okay.
not the data. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So create, alter, drop. Create means creating the structure. Alter means
Hmm.
altering the structure.
Altering the structure.
Means
Hmm.
what do you understand by altering the structure? Means if you want to add,
Heading I
uh,
wanted to
if you want to
column. Huh.
modify some
The
attributes of the
heading
column,
of the
okay, if
column.
you want to
Okay.
remove some column, so those are
Hmm.
considered as the altering the structure of the table. Now
Table.
next you have something called drop. Drop means you are deleting the structure.
Deleting. Hmm.
Now once you drop a table, you cannot
Hmm.
recover it by any means. Okay,
Okay.
so drop is very dangerous. It will
Hmm.
erase every data, it will erase the table structure, everything. Okay,
Okay.
but there are something called truncate.
Mm-hmm.
Truncate is another command. I'm just making it underline. Truncate is a drop command. Sorry, truncate is a delete command. You can say it will
Mm-hmm.
erase all the data inside it, inside the table, but the structure
But
will remain same.
structure will remain the same.
Just like that.
Hmm.
If I delete, so truncate will
I got it.
delete all the data at once, not
Uh,
see the deleting
structure
of the
remains the
records,
same.
something like that. Na?
Mm.
If I tell you to delete the records, then you can do like this: delete, then again, delete, then again. This is also a process of deletion, right?
Yes.
Okay. But truncate will, what truncate will do? Truncate will delete all at once, but the structure
Mm.
will remain same.
Okay.
Okay, so that is truncate. Okay, but
Mm.
drop, what will drop? Drop will
It will drop
erase
even the
also the
structure.
structure and data,
Mm.
everything will be lost.
Mm.
So we do not use truncate too often,
Mm.
although I use in my SQL. Acha, next you have something called say DML. Sorry, DML. Now what is DML? DML is data, sorry, manipulation language. Okay, data manipulation. Try to understand everything so that you can, if you continue to watch, then I can assure you that at least you can write a very or a good SQL query.
Okay.
So try to understand what is data manipulation language. Means you can manipulate the data. Means what?
Entering the data.
Manipulate the data. Okay. So how can you manipulate a data? So you can insert a data, you can delete a data, not the structure. Okay.
Structure.
So manipulating data definition is related to structure. Data
Structure.
manipulation is related to the content of the table, means the data.
Mm.
So the commands are insert, update, delete. So very simple, meaning is already clear, I think. Insert means
Yes, yes.
when you are inserting a data into a table. Update means when you want to modify the data. See, alter and update, there is a difference between alter and update. Na? Alter is basically
Yes.
modifying the structure of that
Modifying
table,
the structure.
but
Mm.
update is actually updating the record.
Adding new records.
Means suppose here for
Mm.
the record, see, consider this one. Say Rahul Dravid, his salary you want to increase to 5,000. Okay.
Mm.
So this is called modification. This is called
Modification.
updation.
Yes.
There is a certain query or there is a certain uh, syntax to write that,
Mm.
write the command to make that thing happen in database. So that can
Mm.
be done by update. Now delete means
Okay.
what? Delete will delete will
That
do
record.
that thing, record one by one.
Record deletion.
Okay, by using the delete command, we can delete the record.
Mm.
How? One by one. You have to
One by one.
one by one.
Mm.
Maybe somebody say that no, I can delete multiple records. Okay, say
Mhm.
I can write like that. Say for delete all the employee name,
Mm.
delete all the employee who lives in Bengaluru. So you have
Mm.
Bengaluru, Bengaluru. These are the two members living Bengaluru. Na?
Yes.
So we can write a query to delete all
Mm.
the records from Bengaluru. But even if
Mm.
that
Mm.
happen, it will delete this record first and this record
Mm.
second. So it will delete will
Delete
always
only
one
one.
by one.
One by
Okay.
one.
So mm, delete is one by one. Okay.
Mm.
Drop and truncate is not one by one. Drop to
It is.
है छोड़िए, it will delete erase everything from the memory.
Mm.
But
Mm.
truncate will delete the
Will
record
record, but the
page
structure
wise.
remains
We
the
can say
same.
page wise, all at
Page
once. Just
wise.
like if you want to say destroy your a certain book or a
Mm.
copy
Mm.
exercise book, then you can take a whitener and erase every
Mm.
line written on it, right?
Yeah.
Or you can turn the pages
Mm.
from the book. That is also an
Yes.
way of deleting the records. Na?
Yes.
So deleting the pages, okay, is
Is
something called
truncated.
truncate.
Okay. That also will be added now. After delete, truncate will
Sorry?
also come. Now in DML also the truncate is there.
No, no, no.
Okay.
Truncate is there in DDL.
Only DDL. Okay.
Yeah. DML means data manipulation language. See, in case of truncate, what I am saying that it will delete the record page wise. That means it will delete the page. Now,
Okay.
page is a content of the structure. Na? Page
Yes.
is not the data. Whatever written on inside the page, that is data.
Page is a data. Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
So deleting a page is obviously related to structure. Okay, so this delete and truncate has a difference. Next, you have something called DCL.
So just one clarification. I have one doubt. I had it.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Hmm.
have a clear clarity.
Tell me.
So now this delete will come with related to the data. It will not go with the DDL.
Yeah, exactly. Delete will be related to data. Okay.
Create also. Again it is the same way. It
Create
goes
is
with
DDL, structure related,
DDL
because you are creating a
structure.
structure.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
DCL means data control language. We will not use it here. Okay.
Mm.
Means see, database is a multi-user system. Means you can
Mm.
authenticate some other person to use your data. Okay, to handle the
Mm.
database. So something command called grant, revoke. I wrote the spelling right now. Revoke, right? Okay. So sorry, data control language. Okay, so grant and revoke, these are the two commands we use to grant
With
specific people for specific privileges. Okay, privileges means what? Means
it
we
means
will
how
decide as
much
a
they
database
can
administrator
access,
who can create, who can insert, who can delete,
who
who
can
cannot
view,
update, who
uh,
cannot see,
not see all these
something like
things.
that. These are called privileges
Okay.
that we can
Mm.
grant or revoke from any user
Mm.
who
Mm.
is working in the database. Okay, so these are the two commands that we use, but obviously we will not these things here, and we will not have this grant and revoke, just the definition only in the syllabus or in the practical. And something,
Mm.
you have data query language, and I don't like this thing, means this term data querying language. Although you may say, okay, we can have something, some name for the select data querying language. So select is the only command using which you
Mm.
will query a database. That's why they are saying that it is a data query language. So these are
Okay.
these are how much? There are 4, 4, 3, 7, 7 to 9 and 10. These are only 10
10.
commands you have in SQL. Can you imagine?
Okay.
Only the 10 commands
Only
you
the
have
10
in the
commands.
database. Okay.
Database.
And among that, just only a single thing,
Is
single select
a
command is there for the querying
uh,
purpose. So
okay.
these all things, okay,
Mm.
you may see, for that data definition language DDL, you will
Mm.
need to use these commands once or twice.
Once or twice, correct.
Grant and revoke also, okay,
Yes.
very few use.
Very few.
Maybe insert is also one time, because after inserting whatever you will do, okay, so insert is obviously one time for a particular record. Maybe you have some update, so insert and delete will obviously for a particular record will happen one time na.
Yes.
Update you have maybe for few more times, but select you have
For a number
infinite
of
number of
times.
times. Okay, so that is the beauty. So these are all
Yes.
10 commands you have. Among that, select is the most used command, and our complete focus will be on the select command, how to use it. There are different varieties of using select command. Okay,
Okay.
so tell me quickly if all these things are okay and gettable. And
Yes.
obviously
Everything is gettable.
you have to listen all this story again to
Again, correct.
remember, because I am not able to write everything. Okay,
No,
although
but still, all these things I got it.
yeah,
I
I,
think it
I
is
will I will
registered.
suggest you a book. for
Mm-hmm.
SQL and PLSQL. It's a very good book, SQL and
Okay.
PLSQL. Sorry, SQL and PLSQL, and that is by Ivan Barros.
Eva
Ivan Barros. Okay,
Barros. Okay.
I don't know whether I write his name correct or wrong, but Ivan Barros. I am pronouncing it like that. Ivan
Okay.
Barros. Okay,
Okay.
you can Google it, or it's a very famous book and it's very
Mm.
easy to understand for
Mm-hmm.
SQL language. Okay,
Okay.
okay. So now let's move forward. Okay, see, just look into these tables. We have to understand it first. See, this is employee table, na?
Yes,
So what
employee
are
table.
the you remember that these
The
are called
table.
attributes, na? So there are six
Yes.
attributes. SSNs means something ID. Okay,
Yes.
it is an ID.
Prime ID, which is primary
Okay,
key.
so we make it as a primary key. Obviously,
Mm.
SSN social security number
Mm.
is just like a
Primary
ID,
key.
employee ID. Okay, so that will
Employee.
be unique. Okay, that will
Yes.
be unique. F name, obviously, first name, last name, city, it is the city of residence of this particular employee. This is the salary.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Super assistant means every employee has a supervisor of it.
Yes.
Okay. So the supervisor's ID is given here. See,
Mm.
supervisor is also an employee. Na?
Yes.
So now when you will find null here means this employee has no supervisor, or
Correct.
this employee is supervisor of himself,
Correct.
right?
Mm.
When you find null here. Okay, this is the
Okay.
structure after designing it in ERD.
Mm.
We develop this
We
structure.
had developed
Okay,
the structure.
it's
Yes.
not a rule. I'm just telling you
Mm.
right now. It's our thought.
Yeah. Correct.
We have thought in that way, and we will implement the thing in the database by using
Correct.
those commands. Okay.
Yes.
So now see here, the employee is Cheteshwar Pujara. Okay,
Mm.
his ID is 105 and his
Mm.
super SSN is 1010. Means what? So
He is
5
having
1010.
someone else.
So
Uh,
1010 is
is
Anil
Anil.
Kumble. So Anil
Uh,
Kumble becomes the supervisor
super
of this
sort of
employee, Cheteshwar.
employee.
Right. So in this way you have to understand, right?
Okay.
Now here is the department number DNO. See,
Mm.
DNO is the department number, and these are
Mm.
the department numbers where
Mm.
each of the employee are working. Okay, every
Correct.
employee has an department number.
Department
Okay,
number.
now you have something called
Dep-
department table.
yes.
See, here you will find D number is a field, na?
Yes.
And that will be the primary key. D
Primary key.
number means in this table you will find the information of a particular department, right? See
Correct.
here, the field name is your D number. Here the
Mm.
field name is DNO. So there is
Correct.
no problem. Okay,
No.
but whatever you will find in this column, you must have in this column. Na?
Correct.
Otherwise, suppose you have something called 55. So
Mm.
will this be a valid record?
No.
This will not be a valid record, inconsistent record. Okay, or
Yes.
irrelevant record, or means you can say this erroneous record. So
Mm.
whatever value you will find here, those
Should
all must be exist here
in the
also. Okay.
department.
Okay. So now see, Rohit Sharma is an employee who works in department 4. Now if somebody tell you in which department Rohit Sharma work, that is a query.
Department 4.
So you will find, if you look in this table, then you will tell that Rohit Sharma works in department 4. But the person querying you What is department 4? What I can
Production.
understand about department 4? Then you have to go to the, okay, department
Department
4 is
table.
this production.
Production.
Okay, so suppose in manual work you have a lasers, na? When
Mm.
computer was not there, software was not there. Okay, so big lasers were there. Okay,
Correct.
so think about that time. If that person querying you, then you have to first open the employee ledger.
Ledger.
You have
Yes.
to find out the this record Rohit Sharma. Then you have to
Mm.
take the this value, na? This
Yes.
value. Then you have
Yes.
to close this ledger and open the department ledger, and you have to find this value here and get the production name and tell him that he is actually working in production department. Now, how many ledgers you have to handle? You have to handle two ledgers.
Two ledgers.
So in this way, complex queries, for a complex queries, I will show you definitely. Okay.
Mm.
So query where these four
Mm.
lasers, all the lasers you need to consider to
Correct.
find a particular
Data.
query. Okay.
Yes.
Now suppose these are real lasers. Okay, means the
Mm.
big lasers, means the manual work. So how
Correct.
much time you will spend
Find
to
it
find a
for
query?
doing in manual. Yes, it
Yes.
will take lot of time.
So that is the implementation of database that will give you. I will write a single line query and it will fetch the
Entire
record,
data.
desired
Relevant
record within
records.
no second.
Written.
Okay. So that's why we are learning SQL. That's why we are learning database. Okay. When you are querying for booking a train ticket, you know the
Mm.
Indian Rail database is one of the largest database in the world. Okay.
Yes.
So how many times you are getting the records? I mean, means how much time it is taking to
Within a
take
few
you to the
seconds,
right record that you want?
it's looking for
Very
very
less amount of
less
time,
amount of time.
but it is actually querying. Okay, querying in different fashion. Okay, if we have the scope, we will also learn. We will not learn. I can't say that we will learn, but we will get the idea about distributed database also. Okay.
Mm.
Anyway,
Correct.
so let's move forward to
Mm.
implement one of those tables, and see how can we do that thing. Okay. See, I told you here we will work side by side SQL and relational algebra. But
Mm.
frankly speaking, relational algebra will have no work with these operations. We will
Mm.
use relational algebra for this querying the
Selection
thing.
query.
Okay, selection in different pattern. We will
Mm.
not consider relational algebra for create, insert, update, delete, and everything. Okay, so because
Okay.
create, insert, update, delete are very simple.
Very.
They will be used once or twice in the life cycle of the database. But select will be used because the what I was saying that creating a query, you have to design it, you have to think it, you have to make an algorithm. That is for all
Mm.
about the selecting, na? Selecting the
Mm.
right
Yes.
data in a very short amount of time. So we will use that relational algebra, that algorithmic approach for selecting the queries.
Mm.
Okay, so uh, today we will obviously not use the relational algebra syntax. I am just giving you the
Mm.
introduction of relational algebra. So we are going to use today creating. So
Create.
create command. See, I'm not writing the command or total syntax here. That will
Mm.
very easily you can find it from the book I told you or the internet. Okay, that is very
Okay.
easily available. I'm just going directly here. Okay,
Mm.
I'm just writing the query or the command to create the table. What table we will create? We will create
Empty
exactly
table.
ditto these tables. The field
Okay.
names also will be same because we will use those field names heavily doing the query. Sorry, and I will send you all these files and will ask you to create all these
Right.
tables in your machine and put all these records, exact records. Okay, so
Okay.
that we will have the same level. Sorry. Uh, do we have any other members, Shashiji?
We have Srinivas ji just joined
I
and
am I am
Akhil
here.
Mathur.
Hi,
Akhil
how are you?
Mathurs.
Acha.
Ah,
Ah,
So
bye.
give me 30 minutes. I am just coming. Okay. So having a water. Okay. Just give me
yes,
Ah,
30
yes.
minutes. You can discuss along with you. Okay.
Okay, fine.
ಶಶಿಜಿ
ಹ್ಮ್.
ಊಟ
ಹೇಳಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ
ಆಯ್ತಾ?
ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇನಾಗಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ನಮ್ಮ
ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಬಾಸ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಏನ್
ಹ್ಮ್.
ಹೇಳೋದು, ಮನೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ
ಆಲ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್.
ಸೊ ಅವರು
ಓಕೆ.
ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಾರ. ಅವ್ರು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಚೂರು ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಚೂರು ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಿದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ
ಓಕೆ.
ಒಂದ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಮ್ಮಿನೂ ಒಂದ್ 2 ವಾರ ತನಕ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅವರು
ಓಕೆ, ಬ್ಯಾಕ್
ರಾತ್ರಿ
ಟು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್.
ಏನು
ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್.
ಆ ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದ್ 10-11 ಗಂಟೆ ತನಕ ಅವ್ರು 10-11 ಗಂಟೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾ ಮಾಡಿರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಅವ್ರು ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ನಂಗೆ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಥರ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಓಕೆ.
ಅದೇ, ಏನೂ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ.
ಹ್ಮ್.
ನಾರ್ಮಲ್
ಹಲೋ
ಆಫೀಸ್
ಅಖಿಲ್.
ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ.
ಹೌದು.
ನಾನು
There
ಒಬ್ಬನೇ
is one
ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ.
more. There is one more member. We'll just. Hello, Akhil.
Hi.
ಹಲೋ
Uh,
ಅಖಿಲ್.
Hi, how are you?
uh,
Good, I'm good.
Fine.
How are you, Akhil?
I'm too good.
Okay. I think in the
Nice
last,
meeting you.
this second sem only you're joining to our discussions, I think, no? From second session. Means
No, no.
second sem.
No, in first semester also I used to attend,
Okay, okay.
but only a few classes. But I used to
Okay.
view in YouTube.
The
What you're
recorded
doing
session.
actually?
Eh?
What you're into?
I'm into MCA cybersecurity.
Oh, you are
No,
also
you're
from.
working or
No, no.
uh,
I'm just pursuing. I'm not
okay,
working.
you're pursuing. Online you're pursuing. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay, then you'll
You
be
are also.
finding lots of time, no?
yes, yes. I have any lots of time.
Sorry,
Hello.
Srinivas ji.
Hello.
No,
Mother.
it's okay. It's okay.
Hello, sir. Sorry.
Hello, Srinivas. How are you?
Hello, Akhil. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to chat with you. To Srinivas, to Shashigala madam, and all.
Okay.
You see, lots of people chat with me, so you don't. I mean, I really don't remember with whom I had like
Okay,
had
okay.
chatted. So yeah, sometimes I save numbers who frequently chat with me, but I usually don't save most of the numbers.
Okay,
Okay.
guys. Let's
Yes.
Yeah, so
resume.
Reggie, you're back.
Yeah. But
Uh,
for that, you have to save the name of that person. I personally, whoever chat with me,
uh,
I store their name in my mobile
no,
so that
sometimes what happens, Reggie,
so that
they,
I
I
can
mean,
understand with whom I am
mm,
Yes.
yeah,
talking.
yeah,
And I obviously personally prefer
uh,
to know means to communicate with person. Okay,
uh,
not by the to remember the person by name, not by the numbers. Means if I have
uh,
your name, so you are the
yes.
persons I know the cinemas very well,
Mm,
not the number
mm,
nine
mm.
eight five zero three one two seven. So so that numbers are
uh,
क्या
Are
बोले
hard to remember actually. Name is very easy and convenient also. It
हाँ.
registers fast who the person is.
That is true. That is true.
So
Okay,
we will
yes,
resume ना. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Acha, Shashi ji and whoever there, please tell
Akhil
me
Uh,
and Srinivas.
how far we can go, 10 or 10:30 or 10:15,
uh,
10:15.
10:15.
10:15 is fine. Yeah,
10,
10:15
10,
is fine.
15 will be fine.
Okay.
मुझे अभी मतलब खाना भी अभी तक नहीं खाया, शायद
Sure,
बाहर
sure.
Okay,
जाके
you didn't go
देखूंगा.
also.
No, no, I had work,
Okay.
right? So I was working.
Okay.
Now
I'm
let me
working
see.
from today. Today I'm working from 6 a.m. Okay.
Oh,
With
is it
without any pause.
break?
Just
Okay.
Huh.
yeah. Obviously,
Really
in
very.
afternoon
Means,
I took 2 hours of break, but
Okay,
from today is a means
hectic day.
it was a hectic day. or
So we can
others.
stop by 10, I think.
No, no,
We
no.
can end
I do
by the
not.
session by 10 or
I
10.
Rezi,
do not
if
have
you
any
need
problem.
rest,
Okay. Yeah, and for your information, I will continue my work after this class also. Okay.
oh my God.
Oh,
But yeah, my system is uh, in a situation
really?
that I have to complete by today
Okay,
night.
okay.
Anyway, so let's झटपट हम लोग इसको complete करें. So how to create this
Uh,
employee table? See, SSN, FName, you have to remember the field name. Okay.
Field
See,
names.
whenever you are creating the table into the database, you need something called a data types. Okay. So every
Correct.
field have something called data types. Data types, you all understand what is data types. Okay. So
Yes.
Oracle, you have some data types. You have many data types, in fact. Okay. That again, I am not, I will not discuss every data type in detail here because we do
Mm.
not require for the from the very beginning for all the data types. What we require, that is number. Okay, here you can give some values, say like 5 comma 2, something like that. Suppose your field is going to
Mm.
store numeric values. Okay,
Okay.
with decimal point or without decimal
Step
point.
2.
Okay, if
Okay.
you have,
That.
if you will
Oh,
use decimal point, then you have to give in this way. Otherwise you can give number 5. So 5 means the first parameter will be, it's
is.
not a function, although I am using the term
Mm.
parameter, so it is not a function. So the first value is the total width of the field. Okay,
Mm.
and the next value is the decimal place. Okay, how many decimal places we will have, including the decimal point. So this is one data type, and another is your char data type, where you can put some value, and another is your varchar,
Varchar.
varchar or varchar2. You can say varchar2. I am taking varchar2 10.
variable
Okay,
character.
so these four data types I will use right now. Okay,
Mm.
and in our following classes too, we will not introduce any other data types
Data.
for the convenience. Okay, but you can always learn the other data types from the book
Book.
or from the sites. Okay, I will
Okay.
means Oracle site will, we will find the tutorials, although it's a bit complicated and large and vast. So I
Hmm.
will suggest you to go with the books, and but first of all I will suggest you to follow and continue my the suggestions
Read.
and my classes. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
after completion you can
Read
understand
by.
everything. You will read, you can understand every book. Okay, so these are the four variables. What is char? Char means if you,
Character.
yes, it's a string type. Okay, if you
Alphabets.
want some,
Step type.
nothing is character here, everything is string. Okay, so number you understand, huh?
Mm.
Yeah.
What is char? Char is a fixed length.
Okay. Constant.
Means 10 is the size, so it
Huh.
will take 10. Okay,
Okay.
suppose you have, say, ram, RAM,
Yeah.
you have to
Three
store
characters.
only 3
3.
characters, but it will also take the remaining 7
Remaining
characters.
7 characters.
So it will
Okay.
store in the memory 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it will store, it will take this much of bytes for the memory.
Okay. Hmm.
But in case of varchar2, if you take varchar2, so it is variable. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
means dynamic. So if you want to store
Okay.
RAM here, so you can only, you will
Uh,
have only 3 bytes
three.
stored.
Okay.
Okay, but this is the maximum length.
Hmm.
Okay, so you cannot store more than 10 characters in the
Hmm.
particular field, but
Okay.
you can always store less number of characters. Okay, and it will not occupy the other spaces what is there
Okay.
in case of char. So these are the only variables, these are the only data types in fact we will use. So let's identify which column will take which data type. So this column is your number, na?
Number. Number.
And
By
this column,
unique number, right?
yeah, unique number. So this
Huh.
column will be your unique number, this column will be your number, and this column will be your number, and
Huh.
others will be your varchar2. Okay,
Huh.
so let's do it. Creating the table.
Okay. Okay.
see, I have a table name emp here. Okay. So what I am writing, acha, SQL is case insensitive. Okay, but I will write SQL
Okay.
is case insensitive.
That means create in small letter or capital letter. It
It
Capital
does
won't
letter,
not
small
differ.
letter,
matter.
it does not matter. Okay.
Ah,
So create table is the command. You have to give the table
okay.
name. Okay, you have to give the table name. So what will be
Okay.
the table name? I am giving it JEMP, something like that, because I
Okay.
have already table name EMP here. Okay, so I am assigning a
JEMP.
J in front of every table. Okay, so it will be my JEMP, right?
Okay.
It will be JEMP. So it
Okay.
will be your JDEPT, something like that. Okay, so
Hmm.
you can create EMP table in your database also. There is
Yes.
no harm. So inside that we have to write the field name. So what is the our first field name? SSN. So
SSN.
SSN will be your first field name. Give a space, then write number, and what will be the width of the SSN? You can give 5. Means 5
5 digit it can
digit
take.
you will take for
Okay.
the SSN, right?
Maximum.
Okay. After that, primary key concept clear है ना? You
Yes,
have to
Yes,
clear.
consider
yes.
primary key.
Ah,
So
that key is a
this
unique key.
SSN will become a primary key, na?
Yeah.
Yes.
We want to make this SSN as a primary key, right?
Hmm.
Mm.
So what we will do? We will write
Right.
primary key just like that.
Ah,
Okay.
Okay. So create table
comma.
JEMP, give a parenthesis open. Inside the parenthesis, you have to mention each and every field name. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
what will be your next F name?
By
So give
there we have to give another parenthesis,
which
right?
one?
There. For number, you have for 5 you have given parenthesis, but before SSN you have opened one, but you have to
That
close
will
it,
be, I
right?
think, once for all we can close.
Yeah. You
Oh,
will
is it?
end this. You will end this at the end, na? So
Okay.
inside that, say something like that. You end it and give a
Okay.
semicolon. So inside that, you
Okay.
have to give the field name. So
Okay.
this is the
Okay. Got it.
syntax. Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. So what will be your next F name?
F
This
name,
is
L name.
varchar 2 and I am setting maximum size 50. Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
So L name, you just follow whether I am typing right or wrong.
Same thing
Red
again.
can
Varchar
Var
2
char 2.
50.
50.
After that, what we have? CT salary. So you will have CT, na? CT
Red
varchar
can
2. Say give it
50.
100.
Okay.
Maybe. Acha
Okay.
CT then salary.
Huh.
Salary
Salary
number.
number.
So
Hmm.
number I am giving 7 digit.
Okay.
Acha.
Comma. 2. Something like that
Super
if you
SSN.
want. Uh,
Super SSN. Super SSN. So what will be the
Number.
data type of this
uh,
Super SSN?
super SSN is number.
Number as
Super
well as
SSN will be
character.
number.
Number as well as character, right?
No,
If
no,
we
no.
have to put null.
Null means you do not have to consider null as a string. Null
Okay.
is empty. Okay.
Empty.
Okay.
Null is a
Huh.
value. Okay.
Huh.
That means empty. Okay.
Okay. So by
So
default it will take null, right?
by default, yeah, we can make it in that way. Default is
Oh,
another way of writing default values
okay.
for a table. Okay.
Okay.
By default, it will take null. We can set it
Huh.
like that. Say super
Okay.
SSN, you have to put the
Number
data type
Data
again.
type as
same as
number.
SSN.
SSN. Huh.
So
SSN.
whatever you write,
Number
number 5,
5.
you have to write it
Hmm.
here, right?
Hmm.
Is it okay?
Huh.
Yes.
Next, you have DNO,
Hmm.
means department number. So it will again be number.
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 Say I am
You
taking
can put
department
5
number will
as.
be of 3, size
Okay.
3.
Okay.
See, this is the syntax
Yeah.
or this is the command.
Again,
Okay.
semicolon is there after
Yeah,
that.
semicolon is there. you can design it something like that.
Oh, at the end.
Get them in a
So that
different line. You will
it looks nice. You can do it.
readability will be
For better
right?
readability, you can do it like that.
Oh, if it goes to next line also, it really doesn't
Yeah,
matter,
there will be
right?
no
Like,
problem until it will reach to the semicolon.
End.
It
It
will
reads
not
as a single line.
end.
okay, okay, got it.
Okay. So this
What
is the
happened?
create table structure.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Let me run it. You have to click this button. Okay. Run.
What about save?
Save means if you want to save this script, you can
Okay,
save
okay.
it. Okay. Later you can
Acha.
check it from here.
Reuse it.
But I will suggest after creating everything, you will just what I am doing, copy and copy
Uh,
it into your create a notepad file
Notepad. Yes.
and write every command
Yeah.
for your
Okay.
repository in your
Reference.
repository.
Mm.
Later you can refer it. So
Okay.
hope we have write
Huh.
the query.
Why
Now
we
let's
have to
run.
copy to a notepad file? Can't we view this table again with
No, no,
this?
no. This is for your later reference. Okay.
Just reference, Shiji. It really does.
This is for your reference. It is
Uh,
not necessary for the Oracle or
yeah.
to
No, no,
the.
no. I was thinking like when we come back to this,
Hmm.
we'll come to know na, which are all the table we have created, what is the data
Yeah,
type is used. If you
what
open this
table
file,
you have created that will be there, but this writing will not be there. Na?
The code.
The code will not be there.
it
Okay,
will
The
not
code
be
will
there.
be gone,
I am
right?
showing you.
Okay,
Just let me
That's
run it
why.
first. Then I am
Yeah.
just clicking it. Okay,
okay.
table created. See the output.
Created. Yes.
Okay, so if
Okay.
there is no error, then the table will be created. Okay, but if
Okay.
you have some error, then it will show some error. Say suppose
Okay.
Okay.
I am making an error. Okay, say something like that. Okay, and number, say I am giving m number. So I made two mistakes. I did not give the comma here, and I.
One n number. Data type is
So
being
let's see
changed.
what will happen. Run. The missing right parenthesis means it will referring here. Okay, missing right parenthesis. So error will be something like that. Are you getting the thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let me write the command here. So this is the command of creating table. Okay, I am
Okay.
not writing the syntax. Okay, syntax
Yeah.
you will find uh, you will find from the net or book. So I am giving you the
Okay.
command. Okay,
Okay.
so let me show you that if you want to save it, okay, first write it. You can save
Hmm.
and give a name. Okay, say
Okay. Okay.
test create save. See, I have already created a few. Okay, here you will have test create. So here the
Okay.
query is been saved. Later you
Yeah.
can fetch it from here, but
Okay.
I am suggesting you to copy the thing and save it in some separate file. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So we have created a table successfully. Now we have to check it whether it has been created or not. How can we check
Okay.
it? We can write the command something called DESC, then give the table name. What is the table name? JEMP.
AEMP.
Then give a semicolon. DESC means describe. Sorry, this one. DESC means describe the structure, right? Describe the structure of the JEMP table. So
Okay.
it will give you the structure. See, this is the structure, right?
Yeah.
So see here in the SSN field, you have the primary key is set. You
Hmm.
have something one. One means this field is your primary key. Are you getting
Yeah.
the thing? So this is the again the command
Hmm.
to show the structure of the corresponding table, right?
Hmm.
Acha. Next, next we want to what we can do, suppose you have to increase the length of the say
Fields.
field. Suppose you want to increase the length of this field, okay,
Okay.
then you want to make it as 100.
Edit.
So then what you will do, you will use alter command,
Alter.
alter table JEMP modify, what is the field name, f name,
F name.
varchar2 give 100,
100.
okay.
Now run.
Now run, table altered, okay. Now you
Why
describe the
below
table
that you put? Okay.
JEMP. See, you can write multiple line. Now when you
Yeah.
have multiple lines here, you can select it and run it, so that only single command will run. See,
Okay.
this is,
Yeah, it has changed
it has been
from
changed.
50 to 100.
So you understand the working of alter command?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Next, quickly going to the next. Suppose we will create now the second table, DEPT. Okay. So inside DEPT you have three field,
Yeah.
na?
Three fields. Yes.
So quickly
Create
we
table.
create table DEPT, give a
The
bracket,
characters.
then
Okay.
D,
DNUM D
anyone,
number,
D, and
number
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 say
5.
100.
3. See, D number DNO we decided here to give
JNO is
3.
3.
3.
So we
Okay.
also
Okay.
give it here 3. Okay.
3.
Next you
Okay.
have DNAME
Name. Varchar.
varchar2. Inside that we give 50. Okay.
400.
What is the
See,
difference between varchar 2 and varchar?
that is something specified by Oracle, that later varchar will be not
Removed.
be there and varchar2 will be there. Varchar2 is the advanced version of varchar, you can say. Varchar, they will modify the varchar to a new data type. Okay, I read it in the Oracle site. By them, they have written in such a way that they will remove the varchar and modify it to a new data type. Okay, we may discuss it later, but let's consider that we are giving two fields. Okay, we are not giving this field at the time of creation of the table, right? See here, are you getting the things? Inside this D number, why I am taking the two fields? Because we will use alter command to add this field later after creation. Okay, so D number, we are making this thing as a primary key. Primary key. Select it and run it. Oh, sorry, name is already created. We have to prefix it as J.
JDPT.
See, table is created. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we will describe it. DESC JDPT. See, this is the JDPT J number. So this
Yeah.
JDPT do not have the DMGR SSN field. This DMGR SSN field. Okay. Now I purposefully did this thing because I will now use the alter command
Huh.
to modify this table, right?
Yeah.
So what will be the alter command? Tell me.
Alter
Alter table
table
JDPT
JDPT
add,
modify.
not modify.
Okay.
Modify means if the field is
Do.
already existed, then you can modify it.
Huh.
Now you are going to add a new field, na? So
So
add
add. Okay.
DMGRSSN. That was the name of the field, DMGRSSN.
Yes.
Then what will be the data type? The SSN.
Number.
number 5.
Right. 5.
Okay, and that's all.
Okay. Yeah. And then we will again
Run it.
put DESC
Table is
JD
altered.
putty.
See.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, got it.
So in this way, you can create all the tables. Just I am showing one more command because already time is even, so that you can
Yeah.
enter all these data. Okay, so how to
Okay.
enter the data into a table, that will be
Hmm.
our last command today. Okay, so
Okay.
to entering a data, we will use the DML command. DML command means insert into. That is
Hmm.
the syntax. Insert into, you have to give the table name. Suppose
Table name.
JEMP.
Huh.
Okay, so
Huh.
insert into JEMP, you have to
Huh.
provide the values now. Okay, you have to
Okay.
provide these values. Okay, so I will
Okay.
show you different syntax for entering data into it. But today the most simple one I am showing it here. Insert into JEMP values. Insert into table name.
Hmm.
Then you have to give values. Within this
Hmm.
bracket, you have to give the values. Okay.
Okay.
Now, while giving the values, you have to remember that the numeric value, that is the
Hmm.
first one, is 1001. You have to write like that,
Hmm.
1001. After that, you have Sachin. So that is a
Hmm.
string. So you have to write like that
Hmm.
within quote. So the
Okay.
string value will be given in quote. Okay.
Okay.
Next, you have city. You will follow these values. Okay, these values, so that you can
Okay.
create a query. Uh, Whatever the query we will do, that will match with your records. Okay, so you will put all those data. You can put any other data, but these data will be there. You should put all these data. After that, you can put any other data. Okay, so that is
Okay.
Mumbai 5000. So Mumbai, then 5000,
Hmm.
then null means the super SSN. You do not have to put super SSN, so give a blank comma like that.
Okay.
And then DNO will be
4.
your 4,
4.
just like that. So run this query.
Hmm.
Missing expression. Insert into JMP value. Okay, just do one thing. Have I missed any comma, semicolon? Insert into JMP.
I don't think so.
Okay. One row
Uh,
inserted. This
okay.
blank field, you can put the
Okay.
code,
Okay.
blank code.
Got it. Yes.
You have to
Single
give it the
quote.
null. Okay, so
Okay. Yeah.
now that one data has been inserted into JMP, how can we
Hmm.
see that data? So the command is select
Select
star from
from
JEMP.
JEMP.
These two are the basic commands that I am giving you. See the data you can.
Star means everything from
Star means
JEMP.
everything you will see. We will discuss
Okay.
select separately. So in that
Okay.
way, you can insert all other data. So I am
Yeah.
inserting the next 1002 Rahul Dravid Bengaluru 4000. So what you will do, 1002, in this way you can
Hmm.
insert all the data.
Okay. What if I
Comma.
want to insert everything at a time, like at one single shot?
One single shot, you have to write an application or maybe a PLS query.
No, I will like. What if I write multiple lines, like insert
Multiple
into
lines you
JM?
cannot run in this way, means you have to write a script for that.
Okay, okay, okay,
4000, and you have 5, so 5, so write
okay.
5 and select it. Even if you write multiple lines like that,
Hmm.
here you have to run it in this way. Say something
Okay,
like
by
you
selecting
have to select,
one by one.
run it. So
Hmm.
one row again inserted,
What happens
selected.
if we insert the same values again and again?
It
As
will not
SSN.
it will not prompt you anything until and unless you give a different value to this field only. Okay.
Okay, okay,
So see, I am trying to run this query again. So it will give me
okay.
the constraint, means the run
Okay, unique
database again.
constraint violated.
1002 is already there, so you
Hmm.
cannot insert. But if I
Hmm.
tell that no, I am going to insert
Hmm.
2002, so it
Hmm.
will not
It will
put
not
anything.
show any error.
So one row inserted.
Okay,
We will
okay.
discuss everything later. Okay.
Instead
So
of insert, if I put remove means it will remove or what?
mhm. So my suggestion will be there before the next class. You will create everything
Yes.
here.
Sashiji is
You
asking, am I audible? She is
no,
not audible, right? No,
no,
Sashiji.
you are not
Knowledge
audible.
is God is Sashiji's account, right?
Hmm.
At Shashiji, you are not audible.
So today we are going to end the session here.
Okay,
My suggestion will be that you create all the table and insert all the records that I have shown in that particular way. And next day
okay.
we will do
This
more on it.
continue.
Continue this thing. Okay.
Okay.
So just be
Did someone
yeah,
record this session? No,
yeah.
right?
I am trying to record this session. Not I don't know whether
Ah,
it is fine or
okay,
whether it
okay,
happened or not. I am
okay,
not
okay.
like you to
Ah,
know
no, no.
anything about this
No,
recordings
no,
and
it is not
modifying,
like that.
editing.
I also learned when I joined MCA. It's not
Okay,
like I've learned already.
what we will do tomorrow, we will
Okay.
have another session tomorrow, and
Yeah,
we will
same time,
discuss
right? 8:30.
analyzing the algorithms, because
Yes.
from this week they are
Hmm.
going to start the
Start the
classes, na
session.
Jay?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
starting from the beginning in the analysis of algorithm section, you will find something called big O notation, big theta. What are these things that I will
Okay.
discuss in tomorrow's class? Okay. So
Okay.
analysis of algorithm, time complexity analysis will be there. So
Okay.
join there to know all those
Uh,
things, so that
yes. Yes.
okay, fine.
Uh-huh.
So today
Okay.
we are ending the session
Hmm.
here. Thank you.
Is timetable visible on the LMS? No, right? I also checked. I don't see any timetable.
I don't know. Actually,
Okay. Okay.
LMS, I do not
You
have.
haven't accessed it.
Yeah, right
Okay. Okay. No issues. Bye. No issues.
now. Okay, thank
Okay.
you, Srinivas.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Thank you very much.
Okay, Sasiji is not there, na, I think.
Sashiji, maybe due to some technical
Okay,
issue,
okay,
she's not
okay.
audible.
Everyone,
Okay.
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 Bye.
Bye. Good night. Bye. Thank you very much.